This is a one slide little video clip, all right, for erosion. So remember that erosion is primarily occurring at what we call the headwaters, the highest elevations, but we are going to get erosion throughout the course of the entire river system, zones 2 and zones 3 as well, all right? There's always a bit of material which is being deposited and then later moved, and then deposited and later moved, all right? Erosion then takes place through 3 mechanisms, what we call hydraulic action, where the water itself is applying pressure and force to the rock. And remember, we talked about high and low pressure systems when we were talking about the atmosphere, and that wind is the product of high pressure moving into low pressure. If you're standing in line and you're waiting on Black Friday to get into a shop, the people behind you are pushing you, right? This is what's happening. It's sort of in the river, is the water is pushing against the rock, and at the location where they're pushing, that water's pushing, or where people are pushing on you, that's high pressure. There's nobody standing in front of you, or the person in front of you is not pushing against you, so that's a low pressure zone. And just like the atmosphere, we want to equalize the pressure. So we're going to move from the high pressure zone into the low pressure zone. So if you get pushed hard enough, you may step forward where there's nobody applying pressure to you. You're moving into the low pressure zone. This is what happens to particles within a river system. Over time, pebbles and rocks, sand, silt, clay are going to have pressure upstream applied to that particle, and with enough force it will move that particle forward. So when the discharge is low, there's not a lot of water in the river, there's not a lot of force. Everybody has stood in a creek or a river and you can feel the water pushing against your body, right? When the creek is little, not a lot of force. You don't have to brace yourself. If the water is full, you're going to have to brace yourself because there's no more mass, and it's going to that mass is going to apply more pressure, and it will move bigger stuff and more stuff, all right? So that force, that hydraulic action, can loosen, lift, and move material, all right? The more discharge, the bigger the stuff gets moved. The second thing that water does through erosion is abrasion. So the stuff that gets lifted by that hydraulic action, pebbles, rocks, stones, they're going to act like sandpaper, and they're going to rub against other rocks, and as they do so, they're going to chip minerals and carve minerals off of those rocks that are in the stream bed, and they're going to create more stuff that the river carries. And then the third way is through chemical reactions. So organic matter is going to interact with that water, and those new chemicals in the water are going to move downhill with that water. It's going to dissolve. Minerals which are dissolvable in rock, such as limestone, the carbonates in limestone interact with H2O. They dissolve and then they move downstream. All right.